Did you know that 1 in 10 women of reproductive age worldwide struggle with PCOS? Yet many of them are told the only solution is restrictive dieting?
What if I told you that meal prepping could be your secret weapon against PCOS symptoms without the stress of daily cooking or guessing what to eat next?
Today, we're breaking down exactly how to create a week's worth of hormone balancing, blood sugar stabilizing meals that actually taste amazing.
Welcome to Healthy Food to Eat podcast. I'm your co-host, and I'm here with my amazing co-host to tackle one of the most requested topics we've received.
That's right. We've had so many messages from women asking for practical, science-backed meal prep strategies for PCOS. And today we're not just talking theory, we're giving you actionable plans you can start this Sunday.
Whether you're newly diagnosed, been managing PCOS for years, or you're meal prep curious, this episode is packed with evidence-based nutrition tips that can transform your weekly routine.
So grab your notebook because we're about to dive deep into the world of PCOS-friendly meal prepping.
Let's start with the basics. For those who might be new to this, PCOS, polycystic ovary syndrome, affects up to 15% of women worldwide. But here's what's interesting. It's not just about ovaries.
Exactly. PCOS is actually a complex hormonal and metabolic condition. Think about it this way. Have you ever noticed how your energy crashes after certain meals, or how some foods seem to make you feel hungrier rather than satisfied?
That's insulin resistance talking, and it's present in about 80% of women with PCOS. According to research published in BMC Endocrine Disorders, this is why traditional one-size-fits-all diets often fail for women with PCOS.
Now, before we go further, let me ask you this. When you think about meal prep, what comes to mind? Boring chicken and broccoli? Hours spent in the kitchen on Sunday? I think that's exactly the misconception we need to bust today. Meal prep for PCOS doesn't have to be restrictive or time-consuming. In fact, studies from Johns Hopkins Medicine show that women with PCOS actually do better with regular balanced meals rather than restrictive eating patterns.
Here's a question for our listeners. How many of you skip breakfast because you're not hungry in the morning, but then find yourself craving everything in sight by 3 p.m.?
That's such a common pattern, and it's actually working against your hormones. Research shows that eating consistently throughout the day, about every 4 hours, helps stabilize blood sugar and insulin levels, which is crucial for PCOS management.
Let's talk science for a moment, but don't worry, we'll keep it digestible. The key principles for PCOS nutrition aren't complicated, but they are specific.
First principle is balance. And I don't mean perfect Instagram-worthy balance. I mean the kind of balance that supports your hormones. Research from the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics shows that the most effective PCOS meals include protein, healthy fats, fiber-rich carbohydrates, and plenty of vegetables.
Think about your last satisfying meal. I bet it had this balance naturally, right? Maybe it was a hearty salad with grilled chicken, avocado, quinoa, and a variety of colorful veggies.
Perfect example. Now, here's where meal prep becomes your superpower. Instead of trying to create this balance every single meal from scratch, you prep components that you can mix and match throughout the week.
The second principle is glycemic awareness. Now, before you roll your eyes thinking we're about to ban all carbs, we're not. Low glycemic index foods are simply those that don't cause rapid spikes in blood sugar.
A study published in the Journal of Nutritional Interventions found that women with PCOS who focused on low GI foods saw improvements in insulin sensitivity, androgen levels, and even weight management. But here's the key. This doesn't mean no carbs, it means smart carbs.
Let me ask you this. Would you rather have white rice that leaves you hungry in an hour, or wild rice mixed with herbs and vegetables that keeps you satisfied for hours? Same carb category, completely different effect on your body.
Exactly, and this is where meal prep shines. You can cook a big batch of quinoa, brown rice, or sweet potatoes once, and then use them throughout the week in different combinations.
The third principle is anti-inflammatory eating. Now, inflammation and PCOS go hand in hand. The Mediterranean diet, which is naturally anti-inflammatory, has been shown in multiple studies to be particularly beneficial for women with PCOS.
What does this look like practically? Think omega-3 rich fish, olive oil, colorful vegetables, berries, seeds. These aren't exotic superfoods. They're ingredients you can find at any grocery store.
All right, let's get into the practical stuff. How do you actually plan a week of PCOS-friendly meals without losing your mind or your budget?
Great question. I like to think of meal prep in terms of components rather than complete meals. This gives you flexibility while ensuring you always have balanced options available.
Let's break this down. For successful PCOS meal prep, you want to prepare what I call the Fantastic Four: proteins, smart carbs, healthy fats, and vegetables. When you have these prepped, you can create dozens of different meal combinations.
Starting with proteins, aim for about 25 to 30 grams per meal. This isn't just chicken breast. Think baked salmon, hard-boiled eggs, Greek yogurt, lentils, chickpeas, or even a quality protein powder for smoothies.
Here's a prep tip. Cook your proteins using different methods. Bake some chicken with Mediterranean herbs, grill some with Mexican spices, and slow cook some with Asian flavors. Same protein, 3 different weeks' worth of meals.
Smart carbs are your energy sources, and yes, you need them. Sweet potatoes, quinoa, brown rice, oats, and even fruits like berries. The key is portion control and pairing them with protein and fat.
Quick question for our listeners. Do you batch cook your grains? If not, you're missing out on a huge time saver. Cook a big pot of quinoa or brown rice, portion it out, and you've got the base for grain bowls, side dishes, or even breakfast porridges.
Healthy fats are crucial for hormone production. Avocados, nuts, seeds, olive oil, and fatty fish. These don't require much of prepping, but having them on hand ensures you're not eating naked salads all week.
And vegetables, the stars of the show. Here's where you can really get creative. Roast a big tray of mixed vegetables with olive oil and herbs. Steam some broccoli and cauliflower. Keep some leafy greens washed and ready for salads.
Now, let's talk timing. Most of our successful meal preppers spend 2 to 3 hours on Sunday doing the bulk of their prep. But here's the secret. You don't have to do it all at once.
That's right. Maybe you prep proteins and greens on Sunday, then wash and chop vegetables on Tuesday evening while dinner's cooking. Find a rhythm that works for your schedule.
Let's walk through what a week of PCOS meal prep might actually look like. We'll start with breakfast because it sets the tone for your entire day.
Breakfast for PCOS should be substantial and balanced. Skipping breakfast or having just coffee can actually worsen insulin resistance. So, what are some prep ahead options?
One of my favorites is overnight oats. Use steel-cut oats, add chia seeds for omega-3s, a scoop of protein powder, and berries. Make 5 jars on Sunday, and you have breakfast sorted.
Or how about egg muffins? Whisk eggs with vegetables like spinach, bell peppers, and onions. Add some cheese, pour into muffin tins, and bake. They keep in the fridge for days and reheat perfectly.
For those who prefer smoothies, prep smoothie packs. Portion out berries, spinach, protein powder, and healthy fats like almond butter into freezer bags. Just add liquid and blend.
Now here's a question. Do you struggle with mid-morning energy crashes? This is often a sign that breakfast wasn't balanced enough. The protein and fat in these options help prevent that roller coaster.
Moving on to lunch, this is where your prepped components really shine. Think of it as building blocks rather than fixed meals.
Base option 1, grain bowls. Take your prepped quinoa, add roasted vegetables, a protein like grilled chicken or chickpeas, some leafy greens, and dress with olive oil and lemon.
Base option 2, salad jars. Layer dressing on the bottom, then sturdy vegetables, protein, nuts or seeds, and greens on top. When you're ready to eat, just shake and enjoy.
Base option 3, soup and salad combo. Make a big pot of lentil and vegetable soup on Sunday. It's packed with fiber and protein. Pair it with a simple salad for a satisfying lunch.
What about those days when you need something warm and comforting? This is where your slow cooker or Instant Pot becomes your best friend.
Absolutely. A hearty stew with lean protein, lots of vegetables, and some legumes can cook while you're at work. Come home to a house that smells amazing and dinner that's ready.
For dinner, I like to think in terms of templates: protein plus vegetable plus smart carb plus healthy fat. This could be baked salmon with roasted Brussels sprouts in sweet potato, drizzled with olive oil.
Or it could be a stir-fry with tofu or chicken, loads of colorful vegetables, served over brown rice with the tahini-based sauce.
The beauty of this approach is flexibility. Got unexpected dinner plans? Your prepped components can shift to lunch the next day. Nothing goes to waste.
Let's not forget about snacks. PCOS-friendly snacks should combine protein and healthy fats to keep blood sugar stable.
Apple slices with almond butter, Greek yogurt with berries and nuts, or hummus with vegetables. These aren't revolutionary, but they're effective.
Here's a question for our listeners. How often do you eat because you're actually hungry versus eating because food is just there? Having prepared, balanced snacks helps you make intentional choices.
Let's dive deeper into the anti-inflammatory aspect of PCOS meal prep. Chronic inflammation is like a fire burning inside your body, and PCOS tends to add fuel to that fire.
But here's the good news. Food can be incredibly healing. Research published in Nature's Scientific Reports shows that following an anti-inflammatory diet can significantly improve PCOS symptoms.
So what makes a food anti-inflammatory? Generally, we're talking about foods rich in omega-3 fatty acids, antioxidants, and phytonutrients. Think colorful fruits and vegetables, fatty fish, nuts, seeds, and herbs and spices.
Let me ask you this. When you look at your plate, how many different colors do you see? If it's mostly beige and brown, you're missing out on powerful anti-inflammatory compounds.
Berries are superstars here. Blueberries, strawberries, raspberries, they're packed with anthocyanins, which are potent anti-inflammatory compounds, plus they're relatively low in sugar compared to other fruits.
Fatty fish like salmon, sardines, and mackerel provide omega-3 fatty acids that actively reduce inflammation. If you're not a fish fan, consider walnuts, chia seeds, or flax seeds.
Spices and herbs are like concentrated medicine. Turmeric, ginger, cinnamon, and garlic all have anti-inflammatory properties. The best part? They make your food taste amazing while healing your body.
Here's a practical tip. Make an anti-inflammatory spice blend. Mix turmeric, ginger, cinnamon, and black pepper. Sprinkle it on roasted vegetables, add it to smoothies, or use it as a rub for proteins.
Dark leafy greens deserve a special mention. Spinach, kale, arugula, they're nutritional powerhouses. If you find them bitter or boring, try massaging kale with a little olive oil and lemon juice, or adding spinach to smoothies where you won't even taste it.
Green tea is another anti-inflammatory superstar. Some studies suggest it may even help with insulin sensitivity in women with PCOS. Consider swapping 1 cup of coffee for green tea or enjoying it as an afternoon ritual.
Let's get practical about the actual meal prep process. Because let's honestly, if it's too complicated or time-consuming, it's not going to happen consistently.
Exactly. The best meal prep system is the one you'll actually stick to. So let's talk about working smarter, not harder.
First strategy, batch cooking. This means making large quantities of staple foods that you'll use throughout the week. Cook a whole chicken, roast a big tray of vegetables, or make a large pot of soup.
Here's a question. Do you own a slow cooker or Instant Pot? These appliances are game changers for PCOS meal prep. You can throw in ingredients in the morning and come home to a delicious hormone-balancing meal.
Second strategy, prep ingredients, not just meals. Wash and chop vegetables, cook grains and proteins, but don't necessarily assemble complete meals. This gives you more flexibility during the week.
I love this approach. Maybe a Monday you want a salad, Tuesday you want a warm grain bowl, and Wednesday you want to throw everything into a soup. Same ingredients, different presentations.
Third strategy, use your freezer strategically. Cooked quinoa freezes beautifully. So do soups, stews, and even some roasted vegetables. Double your recipes and freeze half for busy weeks.
Speaking of freezers, smoothie prep packs are lifesaver. Pre-portion frozen fruits, spinach, and protein powder into bags. Just add liquid and blend for an instant PCOS-friendly breakfast.
Fourth strategy, invest in quality storage containers. Glass containers are ideal because they don't absorb odors or stains, and you can see what's inside. Get a variety of sizes for different portions.
And label everything. I know it seems obvious, but when you're tired after a long day, you don't want to play guessing games with mystery containers in your fridge.
Here's a time-saving tip that might surprise you. Prep while you cook. While your chicken's roasting, chop vegetables for the next day's salad. While your quinoa is cooking, wash berries for breakfast.
Multitasking in the kitchen can cut your prep time in half. Just make sure you're safe. Don't try to do too many things at once if you're not comfortable.
Let's talk about the prep day mindset. Some people love spending Sunday afternoon in the kitchen with music or podcasts. Others prefer to spread prep throughout the week.
There's no right or wrong way. Maybe you prep proteins on Sunday, vegetables on Tuesday, and grains on Thursday. Find what works for your schedule and energy levels.
Let's address the elephant in the room: cost. There's this misconception that eating for PCOS has to be expensive. Let's bust that myth right now.
Absolutely. Some of the most PCOS-friendly foods are also the most budget-friendly. Think eggs, canned fish, dried legumes, frozen vegetables, and seasonal produce.
Eggs are probably the most economical complete protein you can buy. They're versatile, keep well, and can be prepared in dozens of ways. Hard boil a dozen at the start of the week for easy grab-and-go protein.
Canned fish like salmon, sardines, and tuna are omega-3 powerhouses that cost a fraction of fresh fish. Just watch the sodium content and rinse them if needed.
Here's a money-saving question. Do you buy organic everything, or do you prioritize? The Dirty Dozen and Clean 15 lists can help you decide where to spend your organic dollars.
Great point. For PCOS, I'd prioritize organic for the foods you eat most often and those known to have higher pesticide residues. But don't let perfect be the enemy of good. Conventional produce is still nutritious.
Frozen vegetables are nutritional equals to fresh and often more affordable. They're picked at peak ripeness and flash frozen, so they might even be more nutritious than fresh vegetables that have traveled long distances.
Buying in bulk can save significant money on PCOS staples like quinoa, brown rice, oats, nuts, and seeds. Many stores have bulk bins where you can buy exactly the amount you need.
Seasonal shopping is another budget hack. When berries are in season, buy extra and freeze them. When winter squash is abundant, stock up and use it throughout the cooler months.
Here's a practical tip. Plan your meals around what's on sale. If chicken thighs are discounted, that's your protein for the week. If sweet potatoes are cheap, that's your smart carb base.
Let's talk about real-life challenges, because meal prep isn't always smooth sailing. What happens when your best-laid plans meet reality?
Challenge number 1. I don't have time. I hear this constantly. But here's a perspective shift. You don't have time not to meal prep. How much time do you spend deciding what to eat each day?
Exactly. Decision fatigue is real. When you're already managing PCOS symptoms, the last thing you need is to stress about every meal. Meal prep eliminates those daily decisions.
Challenge number 2. I get bored eating the same thing. This is why we focus on components rather than complete meals. You're not eating the same thing, you're remixing the same ingredients.
Think of it like having a well-stocked pantry. A chef doesn't get bored with basic ingredients because they combine them differently each time. Same concept here.
Challenge number 3. My family won't eat this way. You don't have to convert everyone at once. Start by adding PCOS-friendly elements to family meals rather than completely overhauling everything.
For example, if you're making pasta for the family, you can add extra vegetables and a side salad for yourself. Maybe swap regular pasta for a chickpea or lentil version for yourself.
Challenge number 4. I don't know how to cook. This is actually an opportunity. PCOS cooking often is simpler than you think. Roasting vegetables, grilling proteins, cooking grains, these are basic techniques that anyone can master.
Start with one technique per week. This week, master roasted vegetables. Next week, learn to cook quinoa perfectly. Before you know it, you'll have a whole repertoire of skills.
Challenge number 5. It's too expensive. We addressed this earlier, but I want to emphasize, calculate the true cost of your current eating habits. Include takeout, convenience foods, and impulse purchases.
When you meal prep, you're less likely to grab expensive convenience foods or order takeout because you already have delicious, ready-to-eat options at home.
Wow, we've covered so much ground today. Let's quickly recap the key takeaways for PCOS meal prep success.
First, remember that PCOS nutrition isn't about restriction, it's about balance. Focus on combining protein, healthy fats, smart carbs, and plenty of vegetables in your meals.
Second, think in terms of components rather than complete meals. When you prep proteins, grains, vegetables, and healthy fats separately, you can create dozens of different meal combinations throughout the week.
Third, prioritize anti-inflammatory foods. Colorful fruits and vegetables, omega-3 rich fish, nuts, seeds, and herbs and spices can help reduce the chronic inflammation associated with PCOS.
Fourth, find a prep rhythm that works for your lifestyle. Whether that's a few hours on Sunday or spreading tasks throughout the week, consistency is more important than perfection.
And finally, remember that meal prep is a skill that improves with practice. Start simple, be patient with yourself, and adjust as you learn what works best for your body and schedule.
The goal isn't to meal prep perfectly from day one. The goal is to create a sustainable system that supports your health and makes your life easier.
All right, beautiful humans, here's your homework for this week. And yes, we're giving you homework because we want to see you succeed.
Start small. Pick just one element we discussed today and try it this week. Maybe it's batch cooking quinoa or prepping smoothie packs or making a big pot of anti-inflammatory soup.
Share your meal prep wins and challenges with us. Tag us on social media with your PCOS meal prep creations. We love seeing how you're taking this information and making it work in your real life.
And remember, if you found this episode helpful, please share it with someone who might benefit. PCOS affects millions of women, and practical, evidence-based information can truly change lives.
All right, thanks for spending your time with us today. Keep eating well, and we'll talk to you next week.